Today we're traveling from Gangtok to the quiet, sleepy mountainside village of Rinchenpong. We'll marvel at its spectacular views, eat and drink like a true local.
This is so good.
And explore the offbeat part of Sikkim that you probably haven't seen
And the
elsewhere.
views from here are amazing.
So let's get started. The trip from Gangtok to Rinchenpong takes 5 hours, and you have the option of a private cab or a shared cab. We chose a shared cab at 400 rupees per person, and the trip took us on windy roads, past deciduous trees and white water. Before long, we had reached our destination. Rinchenpong is a small village situated around 2 hours south of Pelling. This isn't really an extremely popular place for tourists, but it's highly recommended for those looking to discover the authentic Sikkim. While there are a couple of hotels in the area, we chose to stay at a homestay to experience the true essence of Sikkim. Before we could head to our rooms and check out the stunning views that this place is known for, we had to try a local drink that we had heard so much about.
We are about to taste the Tongba, which is a local brew made by the Nepalese tribes living over here in Sikkim. So, Tongba is made out of millet. This millet is supposed to be fermented using bread with herbs which they get from the surrounding forest. I just tasted this drink, Tongba, and it immediately gave me the heat. How do you describe the taste? I mean, when you take a sip, you definitely end up getting a few millet seeds in your mouth. It's kind of like wine. I mean, obviously, it cannot be termed as a wine because it's made out of millet, which is a grain. But in taste-wise, it's closer to a wine than a beer. So you get 4 to 5 drinks with this much of millet. The millet is completely filled to the brim. So to refill it, I'm putting it in the bowl so that I don't want the hot water to flow out when I'm going to try to put it in. Step 2 would be to open this flask. And step 3 would be to pour the hot water till the brim is full. This is the first time I'm refilling it, so I'm not sure how much water will go in. Oh, almost there. Got it. Once this is done, you need to push it in. Awesome. Now let it wait for 5 minutes and then continue drinking. And we have a bowl of popcorn. My favorite.
Next up, the rooms. The rooms at Orchid Villa were simple but functional. Clean linen, ample space, and heated water in the bathrooms. The only problem? No heater for the room. But you don't come to such a place for the room. It's all about experiencing the outdoors. And in this regard, the homestay did not fail. The views were stunning, and there was even a swing to sit on and enjoy the sights. Even though we weren't able to view the Kanchenjunga at this time because of the weather, some authentic Temi tea, a comfortable seat, and the crisp, fresh air were more than enough to help us recover after the long journey. But before long, it was time for dinner.
This is called the Dero bath. So this is like a typical food of like Nepali people. This is stinging nettle soup. And this is Nepali name is gundruk.
Gundruk.
Yeah, it's made from the dry spinach. And this is chicken, rice, and this is squash vegetables.
So We're having a Nepali traditional meal over here. This is called dero. It's like a rice, but more sticky. It's more like a sticky rice, and it's made out of corn. So the traditional way of eating this is to dip it in this stinging nettle soup and eat it. It's very different. In addition, we have two types of papad. One is the fried papad and this one is the roasted one. Yeah. Then there is a vegetable. This is potato.
Squash.
It's squash vegetable. The squash vegetable is again another traditional thing which they eat along with the dero. Wow. It's almost like potato, but it's a bit more sweeter, I think. And more spicy as well.
This is curry.
Okay.
Curry. This fried.
Finally, it's the fried chicken with the Nepali preparation. Very juicy, tasty. I love the chicken. It's one of the best chickens I've had. Let me try eating everything together. It's chicken, little squash, and the dero. This is so good.
We are in this beautiful village called Rinchenpong in West Sikkim. It's early in the morning over here. It's very, very picturesque, very quiet and serene. However, it's really, really cold. And by having a bath, I couldn't feel any part of my body. And even though the water was like boiling hot, I couldn't feel anything. I could just see vapors everywhere in the bathroom, and I knew that the water was kind of hot. But the sleep here was incredible. Bed was nice and cozy, and even though it was cold, we had two comfortable blankets.
For breakfast, we have aloo paratha. There is an omelette. There's pickle. There is some chutney and coffee, our favorite.
Having fueled ourselves, it was time for some offbeat adventures. This one came courtesy of our guide, who you had met in a previous video at Chongu Lake. What lay in front of us was an hour-long trail past dense shrubbery, lush vegetation, and quaint villages. Our destination? Two monasteries that are several centuries old. We are on our way to the Rinchenpong monastery and we've almost reached there. The way up here, we walked through a village with the help of Binod, and I had to use my Nordic walking stick because I'm not as fit as the others are, I guess. But it was an amazing walk. So picturesque. I was like a excited baby all around the place asking what's that, what's that, what's that. And we met some local people on the way and everyone's so warm and inviting, and Binod seems to know every person we meet. Okay, so let's head to the monastery. 5 minutes later, we reached a small road that was filled with beautiful prayer flags which led us all the way to the Rinchenpong monastery. This is the Rinchenpong monastery. It's a 3-century-old monastery and it belongs to the Nyingmapa sect of Buddhism. It's so beautiful. It has like this rustic vibe to it. It's recently been renovated. So I think it looks even more brand new, but it's actually 300 years old and that's incredible. With a short break at the Rinchenpong monastery over, it was time for another 1.5 kilometer hike to reach one of the oldest monasteries in Sikkim that lies deserted and in ruins now.
I'm so tired, Victor. We're halfway up. There's another half an hour or so left. There's a nice bench over here. We're all sitting and taking in this incredible view.
Before long though, we could see the tip of a chorteng. So we had finally arrived. A few more steps and we stood in front of a dilapidated old structure.
We finally reached the top of the hill, and this is a treat. It's a beautiful monastery, 400 to 500 years old, and as you can see, it's predominantly made of wood and brick, and the paint's kind of faded off. And the views from here are amazing. On clear days you can see the Kanchenjunga, but right now unfortunately it's a bit cloudy, so we are unable to see it. Around the monastery there are so many flags hung around, and that kind of shows that people still come here for prayer and for meditation. If you come to Sikkim, you probably will go to Gangtok and see the famous monasteries like the Rumtek Monastery and the Rangka Monastery. But there's just something different in leaving your car behind and walking 2 hours deep into the village, up the hill, into the forest, and finally reaching something as spectacular and beautiful as this monastery right here.
And that brings us to the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel for more travel vlogs, and until our next video, bye and take care.